What's going on? Uh, I just want to make this discussion. Uh, I'll probably be here for an hour or two. Yeah. Let me see real quick. I want to discuss about the pills. I haven't touched on it because I made some streams and videos on nihilism and utilitarianism. I'm gonna put them in the last pill that I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about three pills today. I'm talking about today. Hold on, I'm just gonna check on something. I'm gonna talk about the three pills today that's commonly used in this space. Um, when I was coming up in the 1.0 era, we didn't use that terminology of the Matrix. I mean, we understand the movie in its basic form, but these dudes in 2.0, they kind of use it for dating references, and I blame the PUA guys for that. And I understand people have different variations of the pills, but what I've learned is over time, you have a guy that's esoteric like himself. We already know BGS is known for the pills, and I like his explanation better. And I think he referenced the blue pill as society. Let's get into that. The blue pill world, as we in it, or America, or the rest of the world, that's created by the people up top, that's black pill, right? The blue pill society is the unaware folks, the sheeple, the lost people, um, basically the people that's very lost into society. They're basically people that are unaware about what's happening in the world, like politics and geopolitics and the rest of the world, and in the military and things like that, and stuff in the food and stuff like that. Those people are like what most people call them sheeple or lost people or unaware people. And those people are still stuck in the blue pill world, right? I mean, what I think about the blue pill world, you understand that people are programmed and designed to think a certain way, especially in relationships. It's basic form in this fairy tale Disneyland or filthy blue world, like the madness and mass shootings and all that, no matter what color or crime. That's all blue pill. You know what I mean? That's a linear thing to think about. Like most, if you see in most in movies and video games, they make them basic blue pill setting. Everything has a blue button, even StreamYards and all that. If you notice that, that's like a blue pill mindset, right? I'll get to the other pill in a minute. Blue pill is it's a system that's designed. We all programmed since birth. I think I was blue pill probably since I was born until I was 14. And it's very basic. On skip that. And we already know that. Now let's talk about the red pill. Now the red pill's been hijacked by many different people, because the true concept of red pill is awareness. You understand how society works, because blue and red equals, they both want the morality of groups. But the red pill to me is more like understanding how people function. That's a small version of the rabbit hole, because the red pill, I would look at it in a dating sense, is probably minor. But the bigger red pill, which you have to understand, most people, is not really against you, but you really know how society works, not just the dating and mating, but actually how the system works, how politics work, how people work, how groups work. You have this rebellion of the red pill, right? I've given you plenty of examples in certain games and movies. Like Assassin's Creed shows a lot of red pill things and knowledge, right? They find this treasure or the key of the Eden, right? And then if you play the Templar version of their red pill, it's the trees, right? So red pill to me, it's the opposite of the unaware society. You're aware how it's designed. You're aware you're the opposition. You're kind of like an anarchist in a way, but basically it's done a lot of damage. Now, red pill rage, my first experience when my grandmother passed away when I was playing ball as a freshman, and coming up in high school, and I'll never forget summer camp, and I'll never forget it. My red pill rage didn't really start after she died. I didn't realize I had it until my teens, until I was 18. I was like in medical with the medication. I weaned myself off that shit when I was like 23. So I had my phases in my red pill in my 20s. And I think my girlfriend, we didn't last for like, my first one was like about 6 months. I was like 20 and going on 21. So I've been having a red pill mindset since I was like 15. So I was very aware of how the world works. I was into conspiracy stuff in my 20s on the internet and things like that. But I will tell you this, I was very aware about relationships. It was designed to fuck everybody over or men over. But I do know you had to focus on enlightenment. So the red pill, I was basically in the enlightenment phase of the last part of the darkness, what I see now. But even on this channel was somewhat red pill when it was designed. The Hebrew stuff was just a cover for the red pill knowledge and what I basically understand how the world works. I was on that kick for years in my 20s. And I was basically putting it in a framework, what it was when I was 15. I stopped being red pill somewhere around when I got my first job at 27. And the more I studied about the workplace, I became more black pill. I'll get that in a minute about the two sides of the world. And BGS brought that to my attention, I think somewhere around last year when he made that last video. And that's why I made all my videos is based off of that. The red pill thing, I was red pill in the workplace from the beginning during the politics and everything. But what I learned, people had ugly attitudes, how they treat each other, how they treat me, if they was nice and sad, if they like you or not. That's when I threw out that morality stuff. I didn't know I was a pragmatist. Over time, I grew into it as a pragmatist. I didn't know I was that pragmatic. And I had to look back in my life. I was like, man, I'm so pragmatic in everything I do. That's what really messed me up in the workplace. When I was a barista for 2 years, I learned a lot about people. And it took me 2 years to see that. And I left the job in 2018, self-reflect, came back to these spaces somewhere around 2019, probably replays and sky watching, right? And I always tell this story. Somewhere around 2020, when the COVID hit, I was already black pill at that point, even 2019. But then when I was watching BGS's all black pill videos, and then some of his certain streams, his old streams, his replays, and then his first live stream, I've seen every one of them and they made sense. But when I got into the black pill moments, I understand that the two sides that the last one he made with Owlman and Batman, based off the content I was going to produce, I was going to say the utilitarianism and the nihilism argument, with Batman being utilitarian and Owlman be a nihilist. Yeah, nihilist is change or destruction, right? It's like a skepticism type way. Basically, I'm just want to look at it like this. In a nihilistic perspective, I look at it, it is very destructive. It's got some good points, but I'm going to share you, like, this is what they base their knowledges on. Like, I'm just going to look at the wiki for the franchise. They talk about the Matrix. That's what the 2.0 talks about. I try to find it. And they said the first Matrix is like the white rabbit hole and the rabbit hole and talking about the black pill stuff, you know. I mean, I just put it out here and type it, you know, the series and all that. That's what they based this on in 2.0. But what come to find out, I understand how the world worked. Not just the movie, but actually worked. But I didn't know we was living like that time. But some people base how society works. You know, everybody's got different versions of the Matrix. But what I hear these talks, man, like society, you know, it's going down. I don't think it's going to end. It's just how it works. I mean, people stuck in this blue pill phase. Now, red pill is like revolutionary. It's kind of like you're a rebel at this point, especially online when you talk about pro-black stuff and all that time. Back then in 2012, everybody was red pill. I never heard this black pill stuff until I started listening to an individual named Black Gnostic Speaks. Now, everybody's black pill version is very different. They always stick with the nihilistic route, which is kind of sad. And shows you where I'm talking about. We're going to have to dive into nihilism again. In a nihilism form, let's just stop the screen share, and I'm going to use another screen share. Hold on. We're going to use this. Make it more simple. Let's see. Let's go with nihilism. In nihilism terms, let's go. The definition. This is what they believe common in other spaces like the white manosphere. I call it the mainstream manosphere because they want to go mainstream. Total rejection, establishment of laws, institutions, anarchy, terrorism, or revolutionary activity. Total absolute destructiveness, especially toward the world at large, including oneself. And here's the philosophy of it. And an extreme form of skepticism, denial of all real existence or the possibility and an objective basis for truth, nothingness or non-existent. Yeah, I see a lot of nihilists in every space, and the more I see it, that's more of a black pill, uh, the antidote. That's when you blink. When he made that video by Owlman, he's about a cause. It's change of destruction. Now you do have another side of it, like I always talk about in other platforms and other panels. I say the change of construction, and that's utilitarianism. Now, utilitarianism is very hedonistic, and yeah, I'll shoot the link. Um, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the link. But yeah, man, like that's what the black pill stuff is for me. But when you're very utilitarian, like for me, what I've learned is that you get to a point in your life, you understand the happiness of the greatest numbers. So we're just gonna keep nihilism up here, and let's go with the utilitarian concept of Batman, right? We're gonna stop screen share for a minute, and we're gonna hit it. All right, what's going on, Sean? Yeah, hold on for a second. I'm gonna pull up another link. We're gonna read it briefly, and the pill talk that's very common, and I'm referencing what B just said on this last video. Okay. An action solely determined by its contribution overall utility and maximizing happiness or pleasure as summoned among all people. It is then the total utility of individuals, which is important here. The greatest happiness for the greatest number of people, utility. And it's very hedonistic and everything, consequentialism. It's very black pill stuff, Epicureanism, what I talk about in my recent streams, videos, and it boils down to what you know. Nihilism, you already know it's destructive. This is change of construct. You got two sides of the argument. You got to pick a side. Utilitarian, you construct life how you see it. It's a pragmatic view. And that's what I think of black pill from my perspective. So yes, I will shoot the link. Drop it down. I'm going to pin it. If anyone wants to come up, I mean, I'm going to make this probably an hour or two. We'll see where it goes because we'll see who's going to come up. I'm going to pin it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just putting this together. I decided it's on the top of my head. So this is going to be the last stream I'm going to wait till next month to stream. Probably do a lot of self streaming talking about this stuff. The black pill stuff, man, is very common in 2.0. And I'm starting to understand that most people reference pills way more in that space. Other spaces try to reject them and try to make their own version of pills. And it's kind of a little silly at this point, but you know how it is. But I think Kuda talked about it. Everybody talked about it. And it's just, kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. And what's going on, bro? Yeah, man, like I don't know, like this it's like with me, if you're gonna look into black pill, man, like there has to be like steps for you to take. You know what I mean, to be black pill. Like I like yeah, there were times like I'll even say about myself, there were times where I feel like the opposite of utility sorry, I've been sipping, so I may slur on words and shit. But like the other the polar opposite of nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I
you talk
feel
about
like
you?
people
Yeah.
yeah, like but
Utilitarian.
like also I do see people using like people using immaturely the other entity, nihilism, carelessly. You know what I mean? When they get in their fifis or something like, shit hits the fans and they hurt, and they get hurt and all, like,
Hmm.
yeah, like, you got to be extra careful on, you know what I mean, on
Yeah.
what you represent because, like, what I mean, there's certain boundaries like most people would not cross unless it's like right in their face, like on Jump Street.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've learned. Like you have a lot of nihilistic people in the space. I've seen this on Ramil's panel, and he they had a discussion about this Doctor Thunder guy and talk
Hmm.
about belief and stuff. And then Gary sounded like a nihilist to me. He said, "I want the evidence." That's what they come off as an atheist, right? But what I found out about the nihilism is being preached a lot.
Atheist.
Yeah.
And, and you know what? I actually talked about that. I
Hmm.
actually spoke about that on my live stream not too long ago.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of these atheists think they know the answers, but like if you give them a simple answer, like okay, well, if God didn't create this, then how do you explain like the wondrous landscape on this planet? Like like this planet just like can't like created itself and shit. Like nah, man. There has to be a higher power.
Yeah. And then I think Gary was trying to explain that in his stream. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's interesting. He has that point of view. And I think it was some pushback from the individuals against his, belief. But I kept calling him what Gary the nihilist. I know his name was Gary Grant. He's a common panelist on Ramil's. And he had those beliefs. He said, we got technology and science, and they come with that angle. And I've noticed that from the 2.0 space when they
Yeah,
come with
yeah.
that angle, they use that as a key, as a crutch. I understand and I respect nihilism and everything, but the polar opposite of utilitarianism is like you construct like what you want it to be. And sometimes that's like the real black pill if you want to survive or be this, I wouldn't say elitist, but just be like a 1%, because most people ain't gonna make it. They choose to die and everything just goes down with it. That's black pill. Everything in beliefs, dies, but you have a choice to pick which side you want to work in reality. And what I've
Yeah,
learned about the
yeah.
workplace, it taught me a lot. And then when I was looking at his videos, I said, well, damn, I didn't think of it this way. Most people was teaching nihilism the whole time, the anarchy way. Like I showed you about it. It's basically what's
Mm-hmm.
on. But the utilitarian side, it's they're both extreme sides. But what I like about utilitarianism, you understand that you can live in this world like that as somewhat of a villain, I think, to
Yeah.
this. But you have to understand it from a purist standpoint. But you have to have some faith and some belief. But most people don't subscribe to it because there's a conflict between the two. But we understand each other. We're just a polar opposite. That's what the black pill is to me. It ain't just one way. You have to
I
understand.
feel like you know what now that you talked about black pill, I kind of feel like black pill is our interpretation of the Tao.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because like there's certain elements that the black pill like talks about that totally like the Tao or the Tao, whatever you know, whatever Chinese dialect you study, but you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
most of it can relate to like the whole black pill. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's a lot of black pill
In
things
a
that
sense.
yeah. It's in movies and games and stuff.
If you're trying to keep it like simplistic and you know what I mean, not too
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. But what I've learned is like if you survive it and understand of its pureness, like yeah, that's like a little salvation. Some people look at it different, But but if you're a nihilist, I respect you. You're gonna believe what you're gonna believe, but I have a different perspective how to survive in life. Sometimes I do want happiness in the world, but it takes certain individuals that's gonna make it. Like I said, not everybody's gonna make this trip.
Yeah, you're right. And my bad. Like I don't even know what the fuck happened, but
Yeah, you dropped off. I was talking. I was like, "What's going on here, man?" Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm doing too much on this side, man.
yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, I just got
Yeah,
together. Yeah,
but yeah, man. I mean, it's how you take it as, you know what I mean? Just like you take the word, the gospel, you know what I mean? Some people, you know what I mean? Some people will like have an open mind and have an open heart. Some people will take it as, what they're feeling.
yeah. It's how you look at it. But I referenced those early pills earlier. It's just they deal with a lot of morality stuff. A lot of people talk about red and blue all the time. But that's what we used to in the old spaces. But I'll never forget it's commonly practiced and preached. But it's just like black people was a new concept. Or I've heard when I came to the newer spaces, and I know that concept goes way back, in the Stoic days. And I said, okay, and these philosophical terms that I'm using now, and then I do more research on them. I say, well, damn, they make sense now, you know. And I look
Yeah,
at it now. When I look at it now, it matters to certain people. So
yeah, it
yeah.
really does. Yeah.
But not everybody's gonna be on that tip, and that's a good thing about it because it's only a select few that gets it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Cause I don't know, man. If a lot of people were on it, man, shit, like society would turn into society would turn into shitville,
Yeah,
in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Cause like if everybody was a nihilist and there wasn't like a certain balance of um utilitarian, sorry, like
yeah, that's all
what I
right.
mean, I'm gonna just say, like, what I mean, the yang side of,
Yeah,
things, you know what I mean, like if you're not on the if there's nobody on the yang side, like, to coexist with the people of the opposite side, like, you know what I mean, everything goes into complete chaos because everything is one-sided.
what's going on? Yeah,
You know what I mean? So yeah, there has to be like a natural balance. It, you know what I mean? There has to be a natural balance because if shit is just one sided, like, you know what I mean, where does fair play come along?
yeah. I want to say what the glorious one say. Shouts out to him. It will be a purge in real life. Exactly, it'll be a real purge.
Yeah.
And people will accept it. And he says balance is the key always. Exactly, I agree. But and that's the fundamental part of it. That's what when I study utilitarianism, when I start making videos on it on pre-records and then a live stream with Gabe, that was probably the best I ever did. And then I did a redo of that and explaining
Hmm.
of it with the certain points I made. And it's just like it is what it is on both sides. But the differences between the two, one deals with the right and wrong in a pragmatic way, in an amoralistic way, and the other side just deals with the destructiveness of the black pill. If you blink, like he mentioned that Owlman, the Batman video of the black pill, the Justice League, and what he was saying, the concept of the black pill: do you take it? Do you embrace it? And the other side, if you don't embrace it, it'll swallow you whole. That's basically what it is. And
Hmm.
that's why I reference this stream on, like, it's commonly talked about, but people overly use the black pill as much, but they're not really black pill. But if you was really black pill, you have to have a discernment, you have to be enlightened, and you have to understand how to survive. And it's basically you can live a normal life, but you can't tell people that you're really black pill. You're aware of stuff. You really understand how the world works. Red pill is not like that. You're close to it. It's the truth,
Hmm.
but you're close to it. You're just in the beginning stages of it if you're young. But if you're older, you realize you get out of those rages. You learn to be black pill at the end. That's the real truth. Most people don't want to take it. They just want to be stuck in the red pill and morality. Sometimes I hang around a lot of red pill guys and laugh and yuck it up and give them dab and chats and pounds. I do that because a lot of those dudes that are saying something with conviction, they're red pill. But if they're
Mm-hmm.
blue pill, they're unaware. You understand they're filthy blue. You kind of leave them alone. You let them be sheep, and it's kind of like it's in the conversation. See, black pill people talk. They just build like just DeAndre. Yeah, he's somewhat black pill, but we was building, and the way we
Mm-hmm.
build made sense. We're a lot.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, that's truth right there, man.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like with me, it's like I can't really say like I go by like what everybody else says about black pill, but
yeah,
like it's it's pretty much on how it's pretty much on how you interpret on what black pill is.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because like you know, for some people, like it may be too complex for like the average mind to understand. You know,
yeah,
so that's why most of these guys like revert to the red pill.
yeah. Because it's more simpler to understand. It's an
Yeah,
awakening they want.
and it's not ordained compared to like black pill.
Yeah.
You
Black
know what I
pill is
mean?
like an enlightenment stage. You understand, like, you'll have a nihilist phase, but the thing about that phase, you understand it can be destructive if you blink and if you don't let it swallow you whole. Now, if you don't let it swallow you whole, there's another side of black pill. I call it utilitarianism. Most people don't embrace that. You know why? Because everybody's not built like that. Most people are built to be nihilists and destroy. They're on a mission. It's kind of like the Joker. Are you
Yeah,
that dude in the burning building? Are you that dude? And I understand what he was saying. And then I have my own belief too. It's similar, but what I've understand, the more people just want to be crash dummies for mainstream media, what I've noticed in these spaces and outside of these spaces,
yeah,
I shake my
yeah,
head like that's what they want. They want to be crash dummies, man. And that's the whole
yeah,
of it. Yeah.
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 Nah, you absolutely right, man. Like you got people that are actually followers and not really leaders of their own life. Because this also plays an important role. You know what I mean? Like you have that particular parent that controls you. You know what I mean? Once you're into this world, like you know what I mean, they don't teach you how to like how to think for yourself and how to be self-efficient.
Hmm.
You got people that just want their kids to be an image of themselves, but it's like that's also dictating like what if your kid doesn't want to be in your shadow. He or she wants to live in their own shadow, you know live in their own image instead of theirs, like because like it also hurts them in the long run when they don't create something from them for themselves. you know
Hmm. Yeah, man.
everything is just prearranged.
Yeah. Yeah, black pill, it's complicated for most people, and they just look at it like, you have to give up certain beliefs, and you can't be jaded, man. You have to understand how the world works. Like some people mentioned, I think he mentioned some people about BDSM. Like there's some black pill things that people do, not just sexually, but beyond sexual. You have to learn how to deal with people. Can you accept others? Most people can't even do that. They just
Yeah,
destructive.
exactly.
And I've learned to respect that over time. And then I had to look back at my workplace. I was like, well, damn, I did this to all this. And it took me years to understand. Then when I looked at his videos, I said, oh, that's why I'm feeling this way. But see, I got out of that red pill stuff a long time ago. That's when I was like younger. I'm a little older
Mhm.
now because I understand that there's a journey to it. It's a long process. And then I see why people can take it because how high can you go? That's basically from here for the enlightenment part.
Or the better question is this: how high you will go, but then what happens on how you fall down?
Yeah. At
You know what
the
I
end,
mean? Like
yeah.
people don't think about that because people are just thinking about being higher up, but then it's like the problem is like the higher you are, like the harder that fall is gonna be once you fall from that altitude.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I do is like, I focus on myself too. But the thing is, when I look at how the world works, I understand where people's coming from, and then I'm patient. That's why I don't really get into many arguments on panels because I'm more aware what's happening. How these systems work, and sometimes I learn about them.
Yeah.
Take questions, take notes, and then I just figure them out, and I just do me. But the black pill thing is like you're at survival mode at this point. That's basically what I'm on, and that's like my mission is for somewhat enlightenment. See how the world works, because some people just going crazy over this COVID thing, and then they try to figure out crypto. And I hear a lot of stuff. Sometimes I be over Ramil streams and chats, and I appreciate that he balances it out and he don't go extreme with it because it's like red pill to most people, and it's
Mm-hmm.
that's basic to them. But I'm on this other black pill stuff. I'm like, look, I'm in like fuck it, I'm gone. I'm on my own path. That's how I feel half
It's
of
like
the space. Yeah.
yeah, because like I look at it like this, man. Like you know what I mean. If you were displayed towards certain wisdoms, man, you're going to apply that in your own way of the life that you live. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you know what I mean? That's a problem because like the message is how to apply what's being said to our own individual lives instead of trying to mimic somebody else that is spreading the message.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everybody is different from one another, man. Like,
Yeah.
what I mean? You can't just be that individual. Like you gotta learn how to be yourself.
Hmm.
And that's what most people get that's where most people like shoot themselves in the foot at because they focus on, trying to be these content creators instead of being themselves
Yeah.
or
That's what
or,
makes you
or
stand out.
celebrities.
That's
You
what
know
makes
what I
you
mean?
stand out. And I'm the same way with my channel. And then I look at it and I say, well, damn, I'm more black pill than I think. But I didn't realize that until the workplace. And the stuff I was talking about is truth based. I that's why I'm so careful on YouTube because they restrict everybody for certain things. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's how I am a CG3. But mostly, I try to keep a cool tone because some people be saying some foul stuff. But I learned why they do it, though. I don't get mad because I say, "Oh, they're programmed to do that." And I've learned to just step away for certain individuals. I troll different now. When I used to troll, I was like a high head of it. But once I got older, I realized, no, I use soft language that hurts them because when you use certain words that they use, what they're known for, they stop messing with you. And I've noticed they don't want to combat with you. And I get the best of them. And it's kind of fun though, in a way, in a pill sense, you learn about people whose characters on here. But ever since panels and chats became a thing, man, you understand how people are. And then especially if you meet them in person, they ain't really built like that. And that's the
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
thing about it.
exactly,
Yeah.
man. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like when I first came on these panels, man, like, you know what I mean? I didn't just like automatically just click that link. Like, nah, like I actually had to feel out like the panels and like what type of energy like they representing or entertaining at that time. Now, not to say that they're always on that type of energy all the time, but it's like what I mean. You want to make sure that what I mean they're not on. They're not being faulty.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Sometimes I'll be on that joking energy. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just observing what's good with the conversation. Even with the third shifts, though, I have more fun than I did on the other side. I'm like, wow, what did I miss from last year, man? I mean, the talks, the builds, and it's just, woo,
And
everything he
let's
said.
not forget about the flirting too. Like
Oh
sometimes
yeah,
sometimes I feel like when a woman is presenting herself on a panel, man, like this is the best way of practicing. So like when you step inside the outside of the YouTube streets, my nigga, like you won't feel like you're left in the dark and with your pants down and all.
one person can change a whole panel. Yeah, I was that person on the other side and made a difference. But when I came over here, it got better. It could be a real cool, and then bam, yeah, that's how it is. And when I feel like the third shift stuff, I said, damn, the infamous third shift they was talking about. And I look at his old videos that people used to be cool with him. I said, what happened? And then they kept calling them names afterwards in that debate with him and old boy Land. I shouts out the Red Sings and Blues, and it made sense though because I kind of like how he worded what that Kuda was looking at the chat way more. When I debate somebody, I try not to look at them because I laugh, because I know what they're gonna say. They're not gonna hit the link. It's gonna be typical trolls, and I kind of it's a they're a joke to me in the chat. 95% of the time in the chat when I'm in the chat with them or on panels, and I just don't pay them no mind. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Even when I was like a mod, I understand how they roll, and it's like a religion to them, and it's real. It's so funny to me. You know? Yeah, they do. They proud.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some niggas can be foul to the T, man. Like real foul. Like especially
Mhm.
either on or off of here. Like you know what I mean?
It's how you carry yourself, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. I even said that. I even said that on my live. Like you know what I mean? It's all about how you carry yourself, cause like you know what I mean? You're not really gonna get too far, being a dickhead all the time to certain people. Cause like if you a dickhead to every other person, you know what I mean? Like you fucking yourself up and your blessings.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that's kind of normal in these spaces. But what I've learned is like most people just sometimes it's the energy they be on, man. Like one thing I like about
Yeah,
Gabe, he tells everybody to drop down. He's just trolling, just playing with them, but he doesn't see enough of their character. It gets kind of draining. And the good thing about it is like you learn a lot from them, and that's why I make those certain streams like the way I did is like to fill it out. But the good thing
yeah,
about it is when I do this pill stream, what I'm doing now, it's like man, it's like you just got to take your own path and do what's best for you and your enlightenment and how you survive to dealing with people, the females, whatever, wherever's in front of you. It's kind of like chess at the moment. I'm playing chess right now in my mind. I'm like, which move I'm going to make this, which I'm going to do that, how I'm going to help
mhm,
others. You know what I mean? Because I'm on that
yeah,
type of time.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's certain scenarios where you gotta play like it's chess, and there's certain scenarios where you gotta play like checkers. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's really about like, you know, the surroundings you're in, because like sometimes you know what I mean, like playing chess is not the best way. Just like playing checkers in certain situations is not the best way. So it's like you got to find the medium of, how to play these two board games in life.
Hmm. And that's just usually what it is, man. Like I've learned a long time ago, certain brothers didn't have my interest, and then I had to cut somebody off like years ago. But what I learned from this channel, to trial and tribulations, man, like it's come a long way. Now I'm trying to build a foundation of it, what I want with it, and to survive, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can't live by people's validations. You gotta live by your own. And it kills me when I hear people begging for other people's validation. It's like,
Mhm.
bro, like, you know, you on your two, like you living by your own dick and your balls, and you living on your feet. Like, why you need other people's validations? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like you made it this far as an adult, and you know what I mean? Like, you didn't, you wasn't snubbed out untimely.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So it's like, why are you going to beg for other people's validations? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you should be self-validated, not the other way around.
Yeah. And that's what it is, man. Like I see it on panels. I think on Kudas, like I see the guys around him. They form, but I'm glad I went to that stream last night. I mean, he was in good health. He
Yeah,
took
man.
a lot of car accidents. I was like 4 hours with him in the beginning. I'm gonna have to watch the restream because I'm gonna see it for myself how I sound and how good it is, and then see his old streams like I normally do. I'm gonna put it in the watch later. But yeah, man, because I know he's trying to take it slow because he done been in so many. I said, damn, you've been in so many accidents, man. You need to chill, man. But that's just what he goes through as a man, on his own path, which is a great thing, man. Like, I don't talk about the mother fools, man, what they did and try to do to Lucario, man. Boy, I can't wait till this summer. They're gonna be exposed and get folded, man. But that's
But
all purpose,
man,
man.
like niggas like that, man, like their names don't live forever compared to the ones that, what I mean, they heckled. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And I learned about more about I think Cuda and the entire city how they was all cool. Then something went left, simple disagreement. Then it turns to beefs and threats and like when Anger Man what he said it, man. Like oh man, they went too far with it. But I don't get mad about it, because I guess that's a new format with these panels, man. Like the panels really expose the ugly out of people when you really talk to them.
You know what? I feel like the internet is the truth serum. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
yeah,
like because you're gonna have people that are actually gonna, live out their truth, and you're gonna have people that are really insecure because they feel like, oh nah, I don't think people are gonna relate to me because I'm different from the testimonies I've heard from different people. But it's
mm,
like, bro, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Live out your fucking truth. Like, who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah.
live it. You know what I mean? Live it, man. Like, because people be killing me trying to lie and kick it, and then what happens when they ask to get doxxed properly?
Right. Yeah, man. Like I'm just saying, man. Like reason I did this discussion, it was on my mind. And I was thinking about it. I said, man, let me, because I was thinking about what he said on his live stream when he came back and talked about Blackfield the earlier 4 hours. I'm like, yeah, man, it's crazy. He was explaining that to AJ. He's like, look, dude, it's deeper than that, because it ain't that serious. And of course, they showed the horrors on there off. Tag, man, it's crazy. And so they acting crazy out here. Yeah,
Oh
that's just a
man,
small.
I
That's a small version of that.
like, oh man, like I did not have the ability to actually talk about it because man, I was just like, woo.
Yeah,
This is a whole nother ball game, man. Like shit, I gotta get back into like being a fucking night owl again. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Cause like, trust me, like I do miss I do miss like, the late nights and shit, but it's like, you also gotta take care of yourself where you don't fuck where you don't fuck up your sleep, your sleep patterns and shit.
hmm, yeah, man,
Like shit, son.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I definitely would log off before I like, before I get, before my mouth gets too ugly and, what I mean, tells the truth about, you know, certain individuals, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's best to leave instead of like, what I mean, just like wilding the fuck out, like, cause
mm,
like people already know, like once you leave, like they already know like why you left,
mm,
because like what I mean, it's like man, listen, I don't got time for this dumb shit,
hmm,
you know. Like
Yeah.
I said it on my live. Like, listen, I ain't got time for the dumb shit, man. Like, I'm only here to, to create. I'm only here to, like, display good music, as well as, like, having that healthy barbershop talk. But other than that, man, it's like, nah. Like y'all can talk about that amongst yourself, but, like, don't bring that shit around me, man, because it's too time consuming, and niggas want to get competitive about a motherfucker that they don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, competition is fierce like online, but what I've learned that people they get in this stuff, man, it's just very telling. It's like in the workplace all over again because when you meet people and you see them, you greet them, hey, how you doing, and then they can be ugly to you. It's like kind of like almost like the real world, but technology makes it so easy, not just avatars or we camming up whatever. It's virtual now. It's like you got to deal with it. So it's kind of like you got to be passive aggressive on here. What I've noticed, and to me in a way you have to, but you have to learn how to survive through the trolling, the BS, the dislikes, and the unsubscriptions. And
Yeah, man, it's
it's the
like,
price that you got to pay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, man, it's so different. Like, when we first stepped into the ninth grade or 10th grade. Like,
hmm
some of our ninth grades were alright, but, like, when you step into 10th grade and shit, is like,
it's a
what I
different.
mean, it's a different animal.
Uh-huh.
Like, shit, I mean, I remember when I was going into 10th grade, man. Like, there were already fucking fights starting in the beginning, like in the first day of school, man. But I was
hmm
like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh shit!
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that freshman year, that first year, even when I was playing basketball. But that second year, oh my god, fisticuffs, man. Lows being thrown, but that third year they tried to make us wear a name tag before they went to uniforms when after I graduated. We wore name tags from like my junior year and my senior year, and after I graduated, and a couple years later, they start wearing uniforms. And my cousin told me, he said, "Yep, they're already doing it now." I said, "Well, damn, they done,
I
man."
mean, shit. Either with the uniforms, man, it's not gonna be no fucking different. Like,
Yeah,
even if you put a uniform on them, man, like, what I mean, these youngins are gonna act the way they fucking act, due to their environment that they live in.
hmm yeah, man. 5 in the box a day. I guess they watching. That's a great thing, but
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. Like, shit.
yeah,
I mean, listen, I ain't gonna feel myself, but, like, I felt happy when I had like 6 likes. And
yeah.
mind you, it's like with me, man. It's like I'm not really. I don't. It's like, if you subscribe to my shit, cool. But it's like, what I mean. I'm not in that much of a hurry to have like 1,000 subscriptions like overnight, man. Like,
Oh, it takes.
it's
Yeah, it takes
yeah,
time.
and it's like, well, and it's what Kuda said, man. Like, I am not in no rush to get to the top, man. If I see you, I see you.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? If I have questions, like, I'm gonna ask.
Yeah. That's how I
You know?
was. I think 2019 when I first got my 1,000 subscribers, and this is before I even make content again. I was on a hiatus. I just let my views get up and people start subscribing, right? And they start coming around. And even when I was making content, even when I was a panelist last year, I told them like, yeah, they can subscribe to the channel, whatever, and they can look at what's what. And then my views just went up and my script subscriptions went up a little bit. And that's part of it. Even when I met Kuda for the first time, it went up a little bit. And even just now when I had that panel with DS1, it went up. But yeah, it's about you and your character, man. It's how you build your foundation. you know you have to be that person, be consistent with your content instead of, take the beefs away from these individuals. They're done, man. I can talk about different things than I want. I can talk about esoteric stuff, geopolitics a little bit. I don't do a lot of domestic politics because it's rare, but I do the research and read it. And, because I went to certain schools to understand that, certain arguments to use on them and learn to counter my points or counter mine or whatever. And then learn from yourself. But yeah, man, it takes a while. It takes you about like at least I took me years to get to a subscription, like 2019. What I did, I mean, it took me a long time, and I did it right. I did it the groundwork way instead of just
Right.
rushing and building it.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like I was also, you know what I mean, I also talked about it, man. Like I was like, you got a lot of people that like take shortcuts to get success. But I told them, I'm like, listen, you take the shortcut, man. Just be prepared that shit's gonna blow up in your face and things gonna go the way you want it because you wanted quicker results versus, what I mean, putting in the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, listen. Like I mean, I've been I mean I've been in the shadows and seen like how the manosphere changed over the years, man.
Hmm.
Like over the fucking years and to this very day, man, like most of these niggas still don't have a clue that their shit can be snatched away from them.
Yeah. It's trying to be snatched away from any time now, no matter what version. But the 1.0 done exceeded with the Gen X thing, but the money didn't go well with Wacky was talking about. 2.0, they had a chance. They fucked that up and
Yeah,
stuck on
yeah,
yeah.
man.
And 3.0, they were so busy worrying about the fourth industrial revolution. But here's the thing, that Stream Team thing, that was it, the last straw. And then you saw the division. So only thing we got left is the Logic Spirit. So yeah, we're holding on a thread, but the rest of it, yeah, it's only a few that's going to do. But as a whole, no, it's going to be a separation. I agree. It's not going to be about mainstream. No, it's going to be them guys because they're going to look bad in the summer. See, what people don't understand, AF is pointing a mirror on these guys, man. And that's what really hurt the spaces on both sides, even white and black. But they said, well, we need to come together. Well, that's going to take time, man. That's going to take some months
Yeah,
in the summer to
man.
get to know, yeah, and a few
It,
interviews to get over it. That takes a certain level, and nobody's there yet. You know, but it's going to give it time. I give it time at around the fall, and and you won't have none of these discussions because a lot of them going to disappear. But I'm still going to be here, man. As long as I bring the substance of content and the stuff I'm talking about, it's gonna be on ears. It ain't gonna be on deaf ears, but it's gonna be on ears to learn and listen. And if you want to respond, you can come up. You know,
yeah,
yeah, I ain't got no problem. I mean, just do your content what you enjoy. Like my man C3G said, you got to be consistent with it. And the key thing is you can stop doing it and let the views go up. That's the best way to get a lot of subscribers.
yeah,
I've learned that for years, even on a hiatus. They'll fuck with your shit, man. I learned
yeah,
that the long way. Yeah, see, Kuda, he did it for years and had certain skills to build his channel, not despite the advertisement and the dancing and stuff. I mean, that's his style of doing things. Everybody can't do what he do. It's only a handful.
mm-hmm.
That's why I
That's a fact.
mentioned, yeah, that's why I mentioned the black pill. You have the two sides argument, and it makes a lot of sense for most people. I
Mm-hmm.
try to keep it simple. I try not to go very extreme and just like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. You have to be
Yeah,
realistic. Hmm.
yeah, man. It's not so hard, but then you also have to remember, like, you got individuals that were misguided by these motherfuckers, and nobody didn't tell them once they got older, like, you know what I mean? You don't need to live by their standards, man. You're a grown ass man. you know?
Hmm.
Like why are you gonna live by somebody else's life? You know what I mean? That's beneficial to them, but it's not a guarantee it's gonna be beneficial for you.
Yeah, man, that's just basically what it is. Like I've learned. a lot about it, man. It takes a minute to get to your certain levels, but I almost fell asleep off this bitch. I was like, woof. Yeah, that's what happens. I was trying to get my mind right, but yeah, man, like that takes a long time. When you step away from this YouTube stuff, man, like actually doing content, you're really going to get a lot of views and subscribers. And not only that, in a pill sense, I was on my red pill shit then, but on a black pill sense, you want to learn a lot about people's mood swings in this new format. See, live stream is fairly new right now. Since Google Hangouts failed, you got StreamYard, Zoom, and others that will copy it and be better, but still, they're competed. See, StreamYards will end up like YouTube, how it starts off beta first, but then over the years, if someone buys it off, like Google does. See, Google controls YouTube, and Google's trying to get bigger so they can have everything. But if StreamYards was big as like Google was, or bought by some other big companies, yeah, it's gonna get bigger. Because Mainstream is trying to make the whole thing big so they can compete with us. But really, we're the only voices we listen to. See, Mainstream is just a small fragment of what society is as a whole. But Angerman did a video I saw, I think, Kuda share on this community tab, and talked about Ramil's stream about mainstream media, which I agree with him on. And that right there, he agrees with Ramil that they should be coming to us, and I agree with that. That statement,
Mhm.
and that's a
Yeah,
statement to make, and it can happen. It's just certain individuals got to get knocked off before we get to that next level. So yeah,
yeah, which is true. Which is very true.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, I did this stream to get the pills, and just me, like the blue pill is just basically society unawareness, and you see people with program, and a lot of times I don't even speak to those people. They're stuck in their ways, which is understandable. Then the red pill is like the revolutionary side, the rebellious one, similar to blue pill. It means you're aware. You're aware of what's going on. You see how society works. You get to a phase, you deal with the right wing news a little bit, sometimes not right wing or whatever wing you are. You just understand how to survive in the world. Now, black pill's a whole nother world. You're dealing with enlightenment, you're dealing with philosophies, you're dealing with truth through those things. That's the hard thing about the black pill. You have to be discernment and be realistic what you want.
You
So,
know what's funny? Because, like, I hear this a lot. People misinterpret black pill. I was like, I'm just going to say it like this, man. Like, you're not black pill. Just say, like, you're a Renaissance man. Because, like, black pill, deals with more like philosophy. Being a Renaissance person pretty much deals with the arts as well as culture wise.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Because like too many people get that term black pill and being a Renaissance person misconstrued a lot.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Black pill is a whole different entity compared to being a Renaissance man or a Renaissance chick, man.
mhm. Yeah, I saw you on the panel with Platinum, man. Like he be showing them the women, man. Like it's crazy. I think I was on a panel
Yeah,
with her.
bro,
Yeah,
man, like you know what I mean? And, I was glad that I fucking correct that because I didn't want people to think that I'm just some simp nigga. Like, nah, bro.
yeah,
Like, I'm sipping. I'm
yeah,
sipping. I'm in the cut. But I
yeah.
ain't
I was
sipping.
there. I was there, and then I think I was on a panel where, like that night too. And then I had to go to bed, man. I had to chill, and I told them I had to crash. But then it was still going in the morning. I came around the 9 hour mark. And then Angerman had like an episode with Jerome, man. You know how Jerome does with the trolling, man. Like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
I expected it, and then he left, and then it's like it's all good, but it's just when Kuda came back, I said, "Yep, it's back to normal third shift." So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man. Cause, 'Cause I was just like, you know what? Let me jump on never jump on Platinum's panel, man, because like I haven't really been on there ever since you know, that certain day.
yeah, yeah,
But like, you know what I mean? But it just goes to show, man. Like, I didn't really came in there just to see, oh, she there? All right, cool. Nah, like, you know what I mean? I'm a social. I'm very social. It's just that, you know what I mean? I gotta fill you out first before I could just be social and shit.
mhm,
Cause you know what I mean? Like people don't have a care in the world like who they're social with until like, you tell them a certain things and then it just, word around town and shit. And now you gotta defend yourself from this whole smear campaign and shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Cause like, like I tell people like not everybody is a shoulder to lean on, my nigga. Like you got a lot of these folks that are chatty patties.
yeah. But what I've learned um, these times, man, like, yeah, you see this a lot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, man. And and
it
it
gets
gets
like that.
sickening.
It gets
Yeah,
that,
man.
yeah. But that's the thing, man. Like what I've learned about these spaces, man, they get crazier and crazier every time, and then I just like I'm over here just chilling, man. Just being myself, and then just seeing what's out there, But that's normally what you get in these spaces, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm gonna go like this for a minute. It's the hat. Or do I want the planet? The sky. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I even said like, you know what I mean? Like you got it's like I said this also on my live too. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta let people you gotta let people be themselves. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? That's when that intuition comes along. Like, do you fuck with this individual or not? Because like if you just stop them right then and there, it's like how you supposed to know if that person means good intention or what I mean that motherfucker what I mean ain't shit. Like sometimes you do need to feel people out just to see like what type of time they on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually what it is. I mean, that's what they be on. Like it's just like it's just like when people they get so emotional on these panels, man. What I've learned a lot from each ones I've been on, even last year, and me hosting one, it's a good thing, man. Like you just got to learn to survive, man. And I'm doing decent so far. I'm just like getting my mind right every day and just try to help certain individuals if they want decent content. I'll talk about a lot of things. It's kind of like my own barbershop, man. Like you got to do what you got to do, man. Like we talk about real stuff, There's ways to survive, and I actually do the work. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking for options for me, what I need to improve. I'm looking at myself, not just content wise, but the character of it. But this summer, I'm just going to probably be outside mostly because I'll do these like somewhat in the afternoon or night. I'll bounce it
Yeah,
out. That's when I'll
yeah,
start.
you know what I'm saying? Like, cause like there be times, man, like I just want to chill after from a long day of work. Like
Yeah.
I don't even want to like go on live. Like if I don't have to work until like later the next day, like you know what I mean? Like I got all the time in the world to do that shit.
Hmm.
You know? It's just that it's like man, like you know what I mean? Like it's like if you're gonna take this like being a content creator on here seriously, man, it's like you gotta make some sacrifices.
Yeah. Yeah. Cut some losses.
Yeah, cause shit, man. Like that, like there's gonna come to a time like you're gonna have to make sacrifices. You know what I mean? Cause you want to live out your best life. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
It's no fun trying to live by other people's expectations, especially your parents. You know what I mean? If that's not what you want to do, like they gotta take it as a grain of salt. Like, listen, yeah, y'all raised me, but it's like this is not what I want to do. You know, it's like and sometimes you gotta separate yourself from them just to just to show them like this is what I love doing. You know, like you can't just like construct people how to live their life. You know, when when you were too busy living your own. You know, living like you single, don't have any kids and shit. I
Yeah.
know that's I know that's gonna touch a nerve on certain niggas,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like people gotta let like once you bring another life in this world, man, like you gotta move differently.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what kills me, man. It's like brothers think that you a father, like yeah, you a father to you a father to that previous relationship.
Hmm.
You know, now if you like bring your kids like out in the park, like, and this is what kills me, man. Like, like once you a single father or a single parent, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta look, you gotta rearrange, because what man or woman who is single and don't have any kids want to deal with that shit?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta find yourself another individual that is single and also a single parent as well.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I don't know, like don't get me wrong, there are some dudes that step into plate that don't have kids, but then it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, is that even right to them? Is that even fair that you're giving them this burden that the previous relationship failed? Now, dude gotta play catch up. You know what I mean? And you're also like pushing away that he may want to have kids with you. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's just basically what it is, man. Like you get your mind right, and then you try not to follow a previous relationship. Most dudes in this space don't want that, but you got some dudes that are willing to do. Like if you have that aura about you, the kid get attached. It's really an attachment part because men,
Yeah, man.
we really don't get attached to kids like that unless you have that high spirit about you. I've noticed that, but you don't get that respect you do in those communities. So it's understandable, but it ain't for everybody. It's for the individual. If he wants to choose that path, go ahead. I wish him well. But I try not to. Because it's already a burden for them anyway.
Man, it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like it's like, you trying to play catch up or trying to be daddy number two when you're not a father yourself, man. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, man. It's I definitely say it's absolutely selfish. You know, it's absolutely selfish if you're gonna put somebody in that position who don't have any kids. But also it's also that individual's responsibility to speak up and say like, look, like, what I mean? I don't jump in relationships with single mothers because one, I'm not a single parent, so it's like there are certain things that are going to be new to me in a sense.
Hmm.
You know what I mean. The communication goes a long way, man. If you tell women like what's up and all, like you know what I mean, they can't. I mean, at first they're gonna feel some type of way, but then at the end of the day, like they can't knock it because
Mm.
like they're not just gonna go by just your particular word because you know what I mean. They hang around with different people. Same thing with dudes. Like dudes hang out with different people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that broadens like different parts of their minds, you know?
that's basically what you got. But you know,
Yeah. Yeah, man, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like not for like I don't even talk about it on my channel, but it's like it's so tiring, man. It's like, dude, niggas get tired of talking about the same fucking shit. If you don't, then yeah, you definitely need a psychic evaluation. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Like most of these folks need to go to therapy, and they think that this space is you know what I mean? This space is the place, you know, to share certain things. Like I still be weary, man.
yeah, they having their own therapy sessions and talking about certain pills that's been hijacked, and it's kind of funny though, man. They love it so much. Like I don't get upset about it because that's what they have their own. But if you're talking about a clinical psychologist, yeah, they need to go to actual doctor. Half of them do. Like the 99 or should I say 85% should go. But the rest of the half that wants enlightenment, that's going to be it's a handful that have their own therapy, but now they have to work towards that. They're like their main goal. But you know, like that's the whole point of it. You know, it's about survival for me at this point and try to keep my mind sharp and just be right, man. Like that's just how I do on panels and stuff, you know, and I just try to
Mhm.
keep a sharp eye on what's going on and who's talking about what, but I stay away from trends like they talk about KS and Kwame. Kwame done killed the whole air out of it, which he's doing
Yeah,
good. He's coming on.
and you know what? Like like, cause I spoke about it. You know what I mean? And I said the same thing. Like, you know, this man has been people's butt of the jokes, and now that he is standing up for himself, like everybody wants to be fucking pussies now.
Yeah,
It's like, whoa,
got him
wait a minute.
apologizing and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought you guys were about all the smoke, but it seems like, you know,
Oh,
you're no
well,
you're no different from picking and choosing your battles on who to conquer and who not to conquer. See,
mhm.
Kwame was the wrong person.
Yeah,
Like he was the wrong he was the wrong dude. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The fuck with.
yeah,
Now look at them. Now look at them.
yeah,
Probably look at themselves in the mirror and say, "Damn, son, I should have never made him like the butt of the jokes."
yeah,
You know what I mean? But see, that's what happens when you let your ego take the driver's seat, and you in the passenger seat, or you know you in the back like Rosa Parks. Like you know what I mean? That's what happens. That's what happens when you let your own ego take the driver's seat. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I'm sure they're gonna learn. I'm sure they're gonna reflect upon this. You know what I mean? To like you know later down the line, but it shouldn't have to. It shouldn't have to take this much. Like you know, for you to say, you know what, I need to stop talking about this individual's personal life, man, because it ain't my fucking business. You know what I mean? Yeah, we may have you know been on the same team, but it's just like you know at the same time like I wouldn't want nobody to like, you know, dish out dirty laundry about me.
hmm,
So it's like, why am I gonna poke the hornet's nest?
yeah. and he just let him have it, man. The good thing about it is like he's staying on his message and he's just basically growing at this point. So yes, shouts out to him, and and then now KS is about to get 1 million probably the end of the weekend or probably next month. But all I know, but Kwame's gonna get 4,000, like I predicted in previous streams. He will get more, but at the end of the year, he may get 1 million. That's what people say. Yeah, it's something outrageous happened to him, but he had a channel, I'll say about 8 years, and he knew about this stuff, and then he was quiet until that day came. He's had him apologizing and shit. And that
Mm.
cease and desist letter, he just shut that up and ate it up. I'm like, man, this dude is the real deal. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. It's like Charlemagne should have known better.
Hmm.
Because like I don't think if anybody remember when he started talking some slick shit about Mr. C and a
Hmm.
couple of Mr. C's goons, like,
Oh,
you know what I mean, approached him. So it's like it's crazy, man. It's like use your panel responsibly. Use your platform responsibly. Cause
yeah.
like, you know what I mean, like all that nigger shit, man, like, you know what I mean, that could cost you your fucking life.
Oh yeah, your money and everything, but it catches up with you. That trolling that he used to did under Wendy Williams, he just got exposed. It's just like I said about these pills, man. A lot of people don't have your best interests. They just
Yeah.
out they just out it for the jam, man. So
Yeah,
yeah.
they're just out here for the bullshit. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like they're not out here like whew, man, like they, you know what I mean? They're not out here trying to learn something and apply it to their lives, man. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they're applying it, but they're applying the polar opposite of what, being a man is compared to like being a man child or a man not. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
People don't be taking heed from people that's just coming from a place of experience. You know what I mean? A place of love. Like ain't no hatred in their hearts. Like, you know what I mean? They just want to see you succeed, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But you got a lot of motherfuckers on this space that want to be on that goofy time shit, man. And
Right.
let them be. Let them be on that goofy time. Let them experience what being a goofy ass nigga gained them. Nothing. You
Yeah.
know what I
No,
mean?
yeah.
Then it gained them jack shit.
Hmm.
But getting exposed and being the butt of the jokes because you wanted wanted to be a whole ass nigga. You know what I mean? People don't. It's like it's like people don't get it until what I mean until their karma like bitch slaps them across the face.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
you know.
man. That stuff can get you, and it always backfires, man. But the good thing about it is, like, man, like you learn a lot from people when they act crazy, and they just talk about this foul stuff, and. But that's one thing I like about when you go on certain panels that individuals going to sound crazy, and you just really listen and try to mute up, and then you're doing something. And I'm like, all right, let me sit back and listen, you know.
Hmm.
And that's how you soak up knowledge. And you said that on platinums, and then you had them tripping. So
Yeah, yeah, bro, cause it's a facts, man.
hmm.
Listen, I even if I don't even if like like most of these so-called gamers
Hmm.
or non-game, it's like what I mean. I'm really speaking from throughout experience, like what I mean. Like I've seen a lot of games and I've seen a lot of bombs. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Yeah, So it's like if you knew better, you do better. Like even most of these films, even most of these movies, like even show you like the do's and don'ts as a man. Like when you get to a certain stage in life, you know what I mean? You start feeling yourself. But if you start feeling yourself too much, man, like you're gonna lose it in front of you right before your eyes, man. And then you're gonna have to like start off on square one.
Yeah, and that's usually the way it is. And if you lose yourself enough, like yeah, you get lost. And a lot of people they just get lost in these spaces. And I learned to stay away from certain individuals. And it took me this channel, like it's 9 years old, be 10 next year. But my first channel, I've been on here for decades, and I've seen people come and go. If you don't have the talent or the content or the substance of your message, you're up out of there. I don't
Yeah,
care what you
man.
got. I don't care what you got. So
Yeah, it's like I don't give a fuck if you a high value nigga. I don't give a fuck if you make more money than me. Like my nigga, you know what I mean? Not a lot of alphas make as much money than, betas. And I'm just using the term beta as a technical term, not to
mhm,
insult people. But it's
mhm,
like, people gotta realize, you know what I mean? Like everybody everybody's not a beta.
mhm,
Everybody wants to be a beta, but not everybody like correction. Everybody wants to be an alpha, but
mhm,
not everybody wants to be a beta because
mhm.
like way it has been you know people use the term beta in a negative like con
Yeah.
in a negative way, but it's what I mean. But people gotta look at it like this, like it ain't no different from a job. Like white collar people can't coexist without blue collar people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Just like blue collar people can't coexist without white collar people. So like, you know what I mean? They're in an equal footing because
Yeah.
they need each other.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're operating like a supermarket or a hardware store. Like you need these two forces. Like otherwise, like shit ain't gonna go its way, man. She ain't gonna be naturally balanced if things are one sided.
Yeah. And that's usually the way it is.
And a lot,
Mhm.
yeah, and a lot of people don't think like you know what I mean. Like I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You know what I mean? If people look at you as a beta, that means that people haven't grown to see your full potential.
Mhm.
Because it's no different. It's no different, man. Like every master was once a student before they were a master, man.
Yeah, man. Whew.
I mean, like, like everybody was once a student. Once in their lifetime, once they got put on you know, to different things, man.
Mhm.
You're supposed to learn, absorb, and when that day arrives where, they pass that torch to you, man, like, you know, it's like you stepped up in the ranks.
Yeah.
Like you can't be an alpha if wasn't you can't be an alpha if you wasn't a beta.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Or
I
if you were sigma, like, you know what I mean, you trying to get into
like a
alpha.
learner. Yeah. I think Nameless broke it down very beautifully. Like a Sigma, they by themselves, but that's what you got a lot of males today. But Alpha is basically a leader. A lot of people trying to say he's a killer. Yeah, he's more than a killer, but he's also a fighter. He's also a leader. So that's what you have. But a Sigma is the same thing. Yeah, Sigmas are killers too. But they're
Yeah,
a different type of killers. They kill for themselves. They're like the lone wolf. See,
Yeah,
omegas and betas really damn near almost the same because people trying to say they're different. No, they're really the same. It's just another word for omega. Omegas is basically a beta, all, in a way, because they're weak. They don't want to lead, and they just want to follow. They're basically followers. Kind of like they always use the hyena triangle, but it's more than just a hyena. Look at snake families, the reptiles, and any form, the
yeah,
insects, like the wasp. That's that mentality. That's the omega or slash beta mentality, the matriarchal type mindset. But if they had true patriarchy, that's alpha.
yeah, man. Yeah,
And Sigma,
and it's like,
And Sigma is more like a nihilistic point of view. Yes, they can be killers in some degree if they feel threatened. It's like in the arts.
yeah, yeah, man. Like it's like all of these things that we talk about comes into full circle because like it applies to everything in life.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't care which side, if you from the yang side or the yin side, like everything applies in life. You know what I mean? Cause like even Kuda said it on this panel, man. Like you take the test first and then you study second.
Hmm. Yep. You have to apply yourself too.
Yeah, yeah, like, you know what I mean? A whole lot of appliances, man. Self appliances, correction. Like
Mm.
a whole lot of self appliances. But like people like to, you got folks that just want quick results. You know what I mean? It's no different than pretty much is no different than most women that practice hypergamy.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know how most women are winning because they stuck by their dude. You know what I mean? When it was good, bad, and ugly. But at the end of the day, man, like look where they at now. Compared to the women that what I mean, that being these that want quick results, but it's like you're not gonna get quick results if what I mean, you just pocket watching and just want to live off of another man who got more resources than the last man you were with.
Hmm. And that's like these
And
dudes
it's
with that
like and it's
energy.
like what
Yeah.
and it's like what the yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like what the fuck happens when your pocket goes on empty? She gonna fuck around with your homeboys whose pockets real fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's basically what they do. They're just trying to take people's ideas and live through others. That's why I brought up the on that stream with Kuda. They lived through Marco Grande, and I met him once on a panel. He tried to change the subject because people was getting an argument about culture and stuff. I brought him up. I brought
Hmm.
people talking points. You got to live your own life, man. You can't live through others. And what you just touched on is
Yeah,
very accurate.
man.
And yeah, you have to be of discernment. At that
Yeah,
point.
man. Like you gotta be your own protagonist in your own story, man. Like
Hmm.
stop letting people play the main character of your fucking story and you being the sub character. Like fuck out of here. Because when it really comes down to it, like they're the weakest link because they letting somebody else play the main character of their story
Hmm.
instead of themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Even it took me like I want to say it took me a long time, but like it took like I knew like what I mean? Like I ain't trying to live like in nobody's shadows who was older than me. You know what I mean? That got their life together because like I tell my family all the time like let me fall on my face, okay? I don't need you to save me when I'm falling face first. on the pavement. You know what I mean? If I fall face first, I fall face first. The question is, did I learn? What did I learn from my mistakes? You know what I mean? That's all a part of being an adult is learning and growing.
Exactly right. And that's part of how to survive too, man. Just like the beginning of the stream, like I talked about it. Yeah, I'm just like looking at it like from a practical, pragmatic standpoint. But yeah, I'm gonna have to shut this down. I ain't gonna go on too long because I'm about to doze
Yeah,
off.
I hear you, man. I had to shut my live down too, cause oh man, like, cause
Yeah, I
shit,
can go on hours for this.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like you know what I mean. Like I'll save that topic for another time. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? When I go back live.
yeah,
Yeah, man. But it was you know what I mean. I do. I definitely take the luxury and pleasure of like being a part of these these conversations, man. Because like you know what I mean. We everyday people.
yeah. We are
You
just
know what I
trying to make
mean?
it, trying to survive out here. You know how that is.
Yeah. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like. And that's what we're trying to tell 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 these like movie stars, man. Like, listen, you have your space, we have ours. So
yeah.
it's like if you want to learn, you know what I mean, you might have to take a class for this shit.
Oh yeah. Like the Udemy course. Yeah, like Kud is trying to set up. But yeah, man. So yeah, yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
been real,
man,
man. Yeah, I'm about to
likewise,
head.
man. Thank you. Thank you for having me up here.
Oh, not a problem. You're always welcome, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, man, it's just a little discussion about some pills. I'm talking about in the space, talking about the Matrix pills. And so, yes, salute to everybody came out. CG3, what's up? Salute to him, Rashawn, as always, good panelists on the panel. Shout out to everybody who was in the clouds, the glorious one. Salute to you, brother. You always in there. So with that, that's all I want to say is peace and shalom.